Hi everyone, it's Sasha here, and today we're going to be talking about some books. So, first of all, thank you so much to my Patreon patrons. Y'all are awesome and amazing, and y'all keep the hope that I have alive. Their names will be listed below in the description. If you want your name also on that little list below, you can definitely join the Patreon club. We have exclusive book clubs, exclusive polling. I do a monthly coloring book for my Patreon patrons and just a whole bunch of stuff. So if you want to check any of that out, you can definitely look at the links that will be below. And yeah, so also I don't edit this podcast. Really wish. Um, if I did, then it probably wouldn't get published. I'm gonna be honest. Also, this is for mature audiences only. So yeah, I do talk about some real adult stuff around here, and so this podcast is just not for all audiences. Yeah, I think that's everything. So let's jump into what we talked about today. It is for me 11:40 at night, and I woke up in a cold sweat because I wanted to talk about classical literature. Why? But I just feel like I need to talk to somebody about it. So I love classical literature. If you are not a classical literature fan, trust me, I get it. I'm not one of those people that's like, how could you not? Sometimes the language be dry. Sometimes it be the language in the books be so outdated that it is like painful to fucking listen to. Like, and just sometimes there's like, I know that another argument that could be made is like the stuff that's in a lot of classics are not problems that we deal with. I would counter that with saying history might change, but our problems very much stay the same. No, like it just might be a different word for it now. It might have a different outcome now, but a lot of problems have remained the same throughout human history. It's usually, conflicts between person, person versus person, person versus animal, person versus environment, person versus government. Like, and, sometimes people might switch it up to where they have like animals representing entire uh civilizations. Oh goodness, what's the I actually haven't there's quite a few classes that I haven't read, but I think I know the concept of, but I've been proven wrong before. But what is it, Watership Down, doesn't it have like animals in the replace of people? Regard no, Animal Farm. Yeah, Watership. I think Watership Down does too. Oh no, now I gotta look it up. If I'm quoting the, I need to read both of those because I haven't actually read either one of those. Yes, okay, so I am. Yeah, it is animals. So I really had to sit here and be like, is it? Am I correct or no? Because I just haven't read those. They are on the TBR. Trust me. Trust and believe they are on the TBR. I need to just go on and rip out the band-aid, but there's so many books that I need to read. Like, recently, classical wise, I actually listened to a wonderful set of poetry, which got me onto this like not necessarily a poetry kick, but a little bit of a poetry kick. But it did make me want to experience the classics a little more, because the name of it is 81 Famous Poems and Audio, um, companion to the Norton Anthology of Poetry. And so yeah, it's just 81 famous ass poems, and it's by the a lot of men and a lot of white people. I did not, now that I think about it, I don't know is there a single person of color on this list. I would have to re-listen to it over again and write down the names of the poems and stuff. But from my memory of it, it mostly had men, and then it had either zero or very few people of color. And I just don't mean black people either. I just mean like poets of just non European descent. So yeah, that might be a reason why I'm a little bit on the I wanna take a shot at some classics. I will say one of the classics that I have, if you had told me some years ago that Dracula would be one of my favorite classics, I probably would have laughed at your ass. I would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say that?" I feel like you don't know me at all. And as I got older, Dracula has become one of my favorite motherfucking books. It, I, it so a lot of people, I always am going to be suggesting the classics to people because I enjoy them. You usually recommend books that you personally enjoy. I also love to recommend books that I think would challenge people because I know that, you know, how do I explain it? I know people are capable. Like I feel like everybody on some level is like capable of having those thoughts of reading through the subtext. Like I don't automatically think that like oh they wouldn't enjoy it. And it's like I also always give trigger warnings too about shit because like a lot of these stories I went into not knowing a damn thing. And when I came out the other side, I wasn't the same bitch. I wasn't the same person. A lot of it is due to the fact that I just didn't have a trigger warning. So I had to witness and experience a whole bunch of very raw shit. And it's just like, okay, but I feel like we all should have those every now and again. For myself personally, I just I love to try to go through the classics. I go through this period of like building myself up with just like fun kids books or books about books or murder mysteries that are very light and cozy. Romance. Like I go through a period of like building myself up and then I just want to tear myself down because I guess I'm a masochist in literature. And so I will ride that high and then I'm like, you know what? It's time to destroy myself. So I'm going to pick up a book that is is has been told that it will be one that will change your life. There's so many books out there that people be like, "Oh, if you read it, it'll change your life." And it's like sometimes no, sometimes oh, they was they was right. And Dracula weirdly is one of those books where the first go around for me, I was like, okay, that was Dracula. Second go around, I was like, okay, that's Dracula. Third go around, I'm like, damn, I think this might be a comfort read. And then fourth time, I was like, oh damn, this a comfort read. So, and the reason for me that Dracula has become this is a lot of classical books. I would have to explain it like this. A lot of classical books are actually way more queer than what you would think they are. And I don't typically mean as like there's just straight up, you know, love or what we nowadays see is typical love between two characters that identify along the rainbow community. It's it's done and said in a way that if you know, you know. Like if you know, you know. And this is definitely one of those. Um, if you know, you know. Cause if you go into Dracula thinking that the two women in the book are dating, and they also have their separate partners who is perfectly aware and acknowledge that their partner is with a woman and they still love them and cherish them, this book becomes 100% better. Because I always have to explain to people with Dracula is that it the Arthur clearly did not understand what a female friendship looked like. He also didn't understand what an American accent or how Americans speak was either, because also, a huge trigger warning about Dracula is the outdated science in this motherfucker. And as somebody that worked in the medical industry for a time, the shit is ooh, it's very cringy. It's very like you kind of want to fight somebody a little bit. And I will say it comes in the form of blood transfusions. So during this time when this book was written, blood transfusions were super new to everybody. Um, and yeah, it people are like, well, I love them, so my blood would would suffice. And it's like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, that's not how any of this fucking works. Like you gotta have the same kind of blood type. Like there's so many other factors. It's just it's fucking terrifying to hear and read. It's for me it's up there with Henrietta Lacks. If you have never read that book, you should. Um, it talks about Henrietta Lacks talks about a black woman who her cells were collected, her cancer cells were collected and then used to revolutionize the world, and her family has not seen a cent of it. I believe more recently they have. I do actually have to look that up. But I mean recently, as in like, I don't know, like 3, 4 years ago. And this happened way back in the day. Um, Sorry, it's late at night. Numbers aren't really a thing right now, but I will try to put information below regarding Henrietta Lacks and like her story, at least the years of it, and promoting the book and all that type of stuff. But yeah, so if you are one of those people where medical outdated medical practices freak you the fuck out and make you want to scream to the top of your fucking lungs like it does me, those two books have that huge ass trigger warning of like ah. But again, with Dracula, you if you really go into it as this queer text, you'll definitely enjoy the book way better. And also, I love the extrapolation off the Nosferatu that came out last year of that weird queer energy that is like secretly within the book. Like, shout out to them for like noticing, because there's so many people that read it and they just take it as face value. And it's like, I don't know, is it because I'm queer that I was able to like be like, this is not how to. I mean, I feel like even if I wasn't, like, I would just sit there and be like, this is not how two women talk to each other. Like, this is how lovers talk to each other. It's insane. It's insane. I remember telling somebody that I was at a random bookstore and we just got to chit chatting about books, and I was like, yeah, no, there's just it was like I had this conversation recently about like how queer a lot of old books are, and how, yeah, like for me, Moby Dick has a really weird queer energy as well. Uh, and now I will say this, that there is this weird ass rumor out there that there is a circle jerk scene in Moby Dick. And honest to God, it was one of the reasons that I picked it up because I was like, "There's a what?" It's not. There's no circle jerk scene. I was very disappointed and upset. And it's just the simple fact that people don't understand that terms have changed over time. So the way that they collected the oil from the whales, the whales that they hunted. Also, Moby Dick has a lot of animal cruelty, like a shit ton of animal cruelty. It was actually really hard to get through, just because of it. But it's in great fucking detail because if I'm not mistaken, the Arthur himself was on a whaling vessel at one point, so he was getting firsthand experiences of how all that shit worked, and he just wrote that shit down. And it's just like you feel like you there, you feel like you. For me, at least, I feel like I was getting seasick and like visually sick all at the same motherfucking time. It was very detailed. But yeah, what they collected from the sperm whales, because that's usually specifically the whales that they hunted after. They hunted all kinds of whales and sold their blubber and stuff for different reasons at different prices. It just depend on the animal that you got, and how much you got. But sperm whales have their name from the spermaceti that is in their bodies. It is just like yeah, so in the scene, they're basically massaging the spermaceti out of it. It's not it's I want to say, now I'm an animal expert, but marine animals is not my forte, so I do have to look up like specifically what spermaceti is. Seti. Yeah, spermaceti oil. It is the wacky substance primarily found in the head cavities of sperm whales. Okay, yeah. So it's just like a substance that's just in them that gives them their literal fucking shape. Their heads, their iconic shape. And so you do have to, you have to squeeze that out of that cavity. And so people just see sperm and not the whole word for some odd fucking reason, because it always says spermaceti. It never shortens it to sperm when it comes to specifically the oil. Of course, you shorten it when you say like sperm whale, but yeah, so they're just squeezing out the spermaceti from this cavity, and a lot of people have misconstrued that, and that was so disappointing to me. But it was still really fucking gay because the way that that man and Queequeg was hugged up with each other all the goddamn time, like it was so damn cute. Like it was just it was so fucking funny and adorable, and I'm just like, what is going on here? Like, like what is happening? The one part that really like stood out for me is like, all right, somebody else got to see this shit but me, right? Is when it's a point where, and I understand that this could be the Arthur misconstruing native traditions and actions, uh and it also just could be I'm forcing this a little bit. But I will say, like, the way that they talk and act with each other at some point feels like a couple, like a old married couple. They fit in together so well that it's just, it just gives off that energy of like, is there something more to this? But anyway, the scene is like old dude and Queequeg, they talking, and at some point they like lean foreheads to each other and they're just like talking really close, and it's not really necessarily. I have to probably reread it to my remembrance at this moment that it wasn't a very intimate conversation, but it was a deep conversation. And it's just like that scene of like just forehead to forehead in like a deep conversation with somebody. It's giving fucking Brokeback Mountain. It's giving Brokeback fucking Mountain to me. And as somebody that has read fucking Brokeback Mountain, oh my god, that book, oh, it was so good and so fucking. It's my Romeo and Juliet. Like, I know Shakespeare did his big one with Romeo and motherfucking Juliet to a lot of motherfucking people, but girl, I'm sorry. Brokeback Mountain is my Romeo and Juliet. And back to the classics of like even more queer energy is Sherlock Holmes. I would say that Sherlock Holmes is ace. He doesn't really find women attractive. He doesn't. He talks about men more when he does want to describe like people. When it comes to women, he mostly notices like their clothes or their like actions and stuff, but he doesn't really notice them in like a physical way that he very much shows how he shows for men. And I feel like he may be queer ace adjacent in some form or fashion. And the way that Sherlock and Watson's relationship, like, oh Lord, they're. Let me put it this way: I read all of Sherlock for the most part, back to back to back to back to back, and the thing that kept driving me, the mysteries were good. Mysteries are great. They keep you guessing. You see where a lot of people have taken a lot of inspiration from. You get for me as a Scooby Doo fan, I was able to see a lot of Scooby Doo like where Scooby Doo got a lot of their references and stuff from. Even some Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes are also basically just played out versions of a Sherlock Holmes episode. Like, you could see where it has influenced an entire fucking genre, an entire, in some cases, depending on where you start your reading, an entire generation. You can see it. Uh, Hell, there's even like a little bit of Nancy Drew, which came years later after Sherlock, where you can still see a little bit of that kind of in there. It like Sherlock is one of those things that just changed the fucking world. and and after finishing it, I was like, I see why. I see why. I see why. I don't. I was doubtful in the beginning. I was a little bit of a doubter, and I don't know why I doubted. Don't know why I did that shit. But the the thing that kept bringing me back was just Watson and Holmes' relationship. Again, the mysteries were great and fantastic, and it really cleared up a lot of like it made a lot of shit funnier now that I've had the knowledge of knowing those mysteries and stuff. It makes me appreciate a lot of the mysteries that I enjoy and read more. But I just needed. I was several books in when at some point I will not give it away, but there's near the end of the series, Watson and Sherlock hold hands because they're in a dark room and Sherlock knows his way around, so he grabs Watson's hand to help guide him through. And when I tell you that almost that sent me, just two men holding hands sent me. That's how that's how thirsty I was for these two people to do anything together on a semi-sexual basis. And and there's also at some point he starts Sherlock starts calling Watson my Watson. Oh God. Oh Lord, it's just it did something to my soul. My Watson. Oh God. I need you to understand that was really my actual real reaction. I was melting. And I will say that the book that I read did give a lot of like insight at the beginning of each book, and sometimes each because as the series goes on, it starts being a collection of like mysteries in one instead of it being one real long drawn out story. And so sometimes there were like little blurbs, or not blurbs, but like introductions to the individual stories or just the whole book in general. Just, it genuinely depended. But uh, I learned that the second Sherlock Holmes book came out after Sir Arthur Conan Doyle met Oscar Wilde. Now, if you don't know anything about Oscar Wilde, that man was gay. He was very homosexual. And we support a gay king around here. And so that's another reason I feel like there is some queer elements to Sherlock, because most everybody knew. Like everybody, a lot of people knew about Oscar Wilde. And there was just a lot of people that didn't give a fuck, because it's like that's his part. He's still a fucking genius. Don't nobody give a fuck what that man do behind closed doors. Um, but it's always shocking to me, like when I do mention Oscar Wilde being gay, a lot of people are shocked and appalled, and I'm just sitting here like, did you did you even read the damn book? Like, not to be mean, but did you even read the shit? You sat there. Now, this is I could say this I can say this confidently. Now, I knew Oscar Wilde was gay from when we had our units about him when I was in high school. And so we had to just learn about his trial, and his life and all that type of stuff. Like, I learned in high school that he was gay. And I don't know that that pre-shaped my world about his work. Um, but I personally feel like I would be able to. It's just okay, just like Emily Dickinson. I knew Emily Dickinson was queer even before I knew Emily Dickinson was queer, because we never actually really talked about that until the very end of our discussion with Emily Dickinson. But I could feel that gay energy through time and space, even though this woman was I would comfortably say she was a racist. But that queer energy just comes out of the page. You could feel that. I don't know. Is this a thing that other people genuinely feel? But I know within the gay and queer community that there is a very specific feeling that you have when you are an artist that is queer, because this is your only form of an outlet. And I don't know if other marginalized groups that use art also have that way of weaving in the yearning and the loneliness in a very specific way that other queer people will pick up. I feel like that's also something that you find um, if you belong to a ethnic group or something like along those lines, where you will feel that energy And yeah, like it just for me personally, I think that energy just exists within the queer world, just like it exists within, you know, the Latin community. Like, I feel like you can tell when someone is faking being like queer or Latino or black. You could kind of feel when that shit is like off. And then but you also, with that, you can feel when it's authentic, when it's like either this person really cares or this person is a part. It's it's one of those. And but with Oscar Wilde and with Emily Dickinson, um that yearning, that longing is just, it's there. It screams at you through time, through space, through pages, through so much subtext. It's just there. And I wish I could explain it more. I personally wish I could explain it. There's so many times where I read through a book and I'm like, this person's queer, ain't they? And then, once I do a little diggy dig, yeah, they usually are. Or it was like highly suspected but never proved. It's something along those lines, and it's like, yeah, like you can fucking tell. Like, you read Picture of Dorian Gray. You sat there, you read Picture of Dorian Gray, and you didn't pick it up, baby. Picture of Dorian Gray is one of the gayest motherfucking books out there. So I will say that our painter, he's very much in love with Dorian. Like, he doesn't want to. I don't think he ever outright tells him. He does call him, but he does make him basically his muse, but it's so much more than that. And then the painter dude, his bestie, is definitely a gay man. They have probably never hooked up, but they very much know each other's secret. And the friend in this, is he's married to a woman, but like, she knows she just wanted the money. Like, she was like, you know what, if I got the money, I don't really give a shit what this man do. Like, every for the most part, most of the men that you meet that interacts with Dorian is queer on some levels. Specifically with Dorian. You do meet other male characters that's in it. Like, you meet, oh god, I don't remember nobody's motherfucking name. But you meet somebody, uncle. That man straight as hell. Like, he gives off heterosexual vibes. And it's like, it's also one of those where even in the book, they basically, everybody knows who is gay in these societies. It's just that don't nobody care. You got money, I don't give a shit what you do. But he's like coming to visit his uncle, and his uncle is like, oh, I don't know if I could say that or not. It's not like the F word or anything, but he calls him a oh, again, I feel like, ah he calls him a pansy, and I I deeply apologize if that word is offensive. Uh, but I have no other way of. But anyway, he calls him that. I'm just gonna say it the once, just in case. And it's just like, I don't know, everybody knows. Like, that's just the spot that's like, everybody's very much aware that these people are gay. Like, it's no secret. It's a secret to some people, but for the most part in the society itself, everybody know. And oh god, I can't think of the other books that I read by Oscar Wilde that's so fucking gay. Um I think it's like The Importance of Being Earnest is the name of it. I know the word earnest is in there. But I read that one and it's like, girl, so you read that. and you weren't picking up on these. Some of the characters are bisexual, and some of the characters are just, they have to be straight just cause. Like, well, they have to play straight just cause. And so it's just like, and what's crazy is that there apparently is a play of the importance of being earnest. I really want to say that's the title. Uh, that they are putting this. They did a play based off the book, and it's apparently very queer, and it's very much to what Oscar Wilde was getting at. Is that, yeah, there's a lot of these motherfuckers that's on the DL, but there's a lot of these people that they're just bi. Like, they love to have that little fun on the side, but they they are very much into the opposite gender just as much as they're into the same gender. And I just think that that's so fucking fascinating. Just like with Dracula, like with the Nosferatu, where it's like that freaky shit come out on the screen, and it's something that I've been feeling for so long about. Like, these motherfuckers freaky. It's like these two women, and then they got their partners. It's like, oh, and it's like seeing it on the screen. I wish that it would have been more queer based freakiness in the Nosferatu. I will always, hands down, be like, add more queerness to shit. So I'm a little biased on that. But like, just, it's just so much queerness in a lot of these fucking classics, guys, that that it's so overwhelmingly kind of frustrating that other people are not getting it. Uh, like, when people think of classics, a lot of them think of like, like the Scarlet Letter. Like, that's homo, that's heterosexual. That's so hardcore heterosexual. Or they think of like, I'm trying to think of just another classic. I literally have a book of classics in front of me. Just pick one. Like, just pick a fucking book. Like, there's so many. Um, yeah. So I would turn to a page where there's, oh, Kindred. Kindred is another like classic that is very much uh heterosexual energy to the max in it. There is little to no queerness in it. I feel like I should like do a I should do like a little I guess radar or grid or something, where it's just like how much gay energy the book get, well, how much queer energy each book I read gives. I feel like I should start adding that to my rating system. It's like, how gay is this book? How queer is this book? I know that the book is about heterosexuals, but how likely is it there is a character in this book that is definitely either a part of the rainbow community? Like, but I really might actually start doing that. But anyway, that is what a lot of people think of. It's just like this very hetero energy. And then a lot of people go into these books with hetero energy so they don't see the queer energy. Like, I feel like that's also a thing too. It's like, sorry, I just saw my cat jump and it was funny. I think he's chasing something, which hope he gets it because I don't want to see it. Anyway, so I think there's like a fly or a mosquito or something in the house, and he's like, I must catch flying thing. But yeah, I don't know if it's that or we're taught to like, because there's even queer people that I've talked to that they're like, Oscar Wilde was gay, and I'm sitting here like, you didn't get that. That wasn't there for you. Again, it could just be that I know that information already, so therefore I'm seeing it. It could just be that like that could very much be a whole ass thing. But I feel like no, because there's other, like I said, there's other books that I've read where I didn't know shit about the author. And when I finally looked into it, it's like, ha, the motherfuckers gay as shit, or they were highly suspected of being a part of the queer community. But yeah, I read your classics, y'all. Read your class, see how gay they are, or how messy them bitches is, to where it's almost queer energy. Some of them motherfuckers is so motherfucking messy that it's like, is this queer? Just because of how messy it is. Not saying that queer people are more or less messy. Have you ever met a straight man? Like, one of the messy. Who's the pettiest person you know? It's a man, ain't it? It's probably a straight cis man too. Um, but yeah, no. I just feel that more people should read the classics and see if they get the queer vibes and stuff with it. Now, I have armed y'all with information that some of these people that have written these books are queer. And then there's some where I have left, definitely, I don't fucking know. I just felt the queer energy of the book, even though like, again, I really want to say that, like, the dude that wrote the Stoker, the dude that wrote Dracula, he was not intending on writing some freaky shit. Like, he was intended on writing some freaky shit, like some sci-fi vampires and shit. But he was not intent on writing this weird bisexual fucking sideline story. Like, I could definitely tell you that that was not the intent. That man just didn't know how women talk to each other, and he was like, this shit is clearly how women talk to each other. And everybody was just like, I got, like, that one is like, it's just a heterosexual man not understanding how women work. Like, I think I can freely and honestly say that. With Moby Dick, it's same, where it's someone misunderstanding someone's customs and culture and completely making it way more homosexual than what it probably intended to be. Even though it is taking place on the ocean. So, like, is it really that off brand for some gayness to happen at sea? I'm just saying. The Navy is real. The Navy's history is real across the board. It ain't just U.S. Navy. It's all of them bitches. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yeah, I guess I guess I need to wrap this up, but I just feel that there's way more queerness out there in the world, and that we need to embrace it. There's so much queerness in a lot of literature that we are told does not exist, or queer media is out there. Queer people have always existed. They put a little of themselves into their work just like any other artist. And the cry of a lot of people that couldn't fully be themselves do come out on the page, and on the canvas, or however they do their expressment of their feelings in themselves, and how it's hard to express oneself when all this is going on. Like, you're battling something that you cannot control. Like, I promise you, you can't control being gay. You can't control being bisexual. You can't control being trans. It's not something that you can control. But when you are shoved into a fucking box that basically tells you you have to do this, you have to be with this person because I told you so. It's pretty, you have to find some kind of outlet to express yourself with, or it will drive you insane because you can't be with the person that you want to be with, at least openly. A lot of these people will, um, marry marry to look straight, and then have their true love on the side, and that ain't helping nobody. That's lies, and that's secrets that don't need to be happening in the world, where someone could just be their true selves. Like, I feel like what really does that for me is Brokeback Mountain, where, they had, yeah, they had their own separate lives after they parted ways during their time out there, on Brokeback Mountain. But they, I don't want to spoil, I don't want to spoil like really sweet parts of the book, but just know that there are parts of the book that let you know that this wasn't just a fling. This wasn't just, we hook up every now and then. This was love. It was love between two people that couldn't be together. And it's sad. And it is sad when you read these texts that they just want happiness just like everybody else, but they can't freely be themselves, or it will get them jailed, it will get them killed, it will get them ostracized, which is almost as bad as death in some cases, especially if you've lived a very specific lifestyle. And I mean, that's no different from today, where a lot of people are scared to come out of who they are because of those exact same reasons. Again, history history changes, but our pain, our hopes and aspirations, our challenges don't. And that's one thing that I love about reading, is that you do know that everybody dealing with the same shit. Everybody has dealt with the same fucking problems. Happiness, love, family, friends, like work. Like everything is the same fucking problem. Dealing with food, water, all the type of shit. It's so fascinating to see how many different ways that people can express the same, what, five fucking issues that exist in the world. Because human beings don't have to actually like deal with a lot of the problems that we put upon ourselves. We just don't. But we have put these issues upon ourselves. Like starvation. Yeah, starvation was a problem back in the day, when we were in hunter gatherer mode. But today, with the engineering of crops, with, um, we can deliver food at your door so quickly. Like, there is no point for starvation in this fucking world. There is no reason that a human being should not have shelter. We have enough shelters to put people in. Like, there's probably more empty houses in the U.S. than there is homeless people. And so we have the means, we have a way, we just don't want to do them. We want to continue to create problems. And people are going to continue to do art to express themselves about how those problems are impacting them. And I think that that's just fucking fascinating. It's horrible that we are still doing shit like this to each other. Genocides and shit. Wars. Because like, a lot of classics do address these issues as well. They address famines, they address wars, slavery, starvation, in some case unhousedness. Oliver fucking Twist, bro. That little boy didn't have to be going through that shit. Like he didn't. The government, the world could have came together and got a little bit better. But greed was keeping shit hard. And that I will go off on a little bit. I already went off on the fucking deep end here. But I that also leads to the thing of why a lot of different kinds of media are banned or censored or anything like that is because we all are dealing with the same fucking issues, and there is a thing where the powerful and the rich know that. They very much know that. They are given, a lot of them are given excellent educations. A lot of these people are not stupid. Like they are not accustomed to the real world, but they're not stupid. Some of them are probably dealing with dementia, but they also have some of the best healthcare available. So, eh. Like, what the fuck is that when it comes to you having really good fucking healthcare? What it like that's just a weird ass world that we live in, and we shouldn't be living like this. Everybody should get the same kind of fucking care and treatment. But because of that imbalance, and because a lot of people in power don't want anybody that's below them to know how to read, know how to write, know how to function without them, or what they tell you is what to do, people are always going to express themselves in some form or fashion. And there's always, unfortunately, I'm praying that one day that we don't have it where there's someone always to try to censor you. They don't want your voice to be heard. They don't want you to tell people about things that make them uncomfortable. Even though it might not make the rest of us uncomfortable, it makes them uncomfortable. So therefore, no one should be allowed to do it, use it, whatever have you. Like, it's just so fucking strange is that we keep living in this big ass circle. We keep living in this big ass circle, and they want us to keep on the damn wheel. A lot of people in power want us to keep on the hamster wheel so they can continue to profit off of us. But one day it's gonna change. Things are going to be a little bit better, where we don't have all this craziness going on, where there will be no wars and no genocides and no starvation and no homelessness, no forced ignorance and no slavery. Because slavery still exists in this world. It has taken a different shape in a lot of different places, but it's still what it is. You have to just call it what it is. Like, dancing around the problem, one, ain't gonna fix the problem. But two, it's it's not going to make the problem go away either. The problem is still sitting there facing you if you don't do shit about it. And if you try to stifle it, Oh, bro, that makes it 100% worse. That makes it 100% worse. I can tell you, 30 years of being my stubborn ass self, and you try your hardest to make something go away. That's gonna be the main thing people fucking talk about. It's like, why are you pushing this so fucking hard? That's weird. Like, people notice. People are not stupid. People notice when you are trying to make something go the fuck away. And eventually people are gonna ask the why. Like, why is always gonna pop the fuck up? Why don't you want me to read that book? Why don't you want me to learn how to read? Why don't you want me to learn how to write? That's human fucking nature, is to ask why. But that's what a lot of people fear, is people asking why. That's the reason, like 19, no, yeah, yeah. I mean, 1984 is, yes, is a prime example of, like, you asking questions, bitch. Oh, why you asking all them questions? I swear. Dating myself so hard. I don't care. I'm old. Like, I'm not old. I understand 30 is not old. I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm ancient. No. No, I'm more experienced. I've lived life. I understand, you know. I done lived a million lives through books. 30 years is a long ass time to be a book lover. Well, I'd say this 25 years of is, well, no, I don't know. Nope, 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 nope. That is incorrect information that I'm saying to myself. Uh, Anyway, I'd have been reading for a long time. I'd have been doing this life shit for a long time. I understand. I understand that shit is difficult, and you do always feel alone and lost, especially when you're younger. Sometimes picking up a book will help you understand that you're not alone. You ain't special. And that's one thing young people hate to hear. Because I was like that too. That you not special, you not doing this shit alone, you not the only one going through it. And you be like, yes I am. Yes I am. Yes I am. No, you're not. You're not the only one that's done been through it. Pick up a motherfucking book. I promise you. You will learn that the shit that you going through, you're not fucking special. But you are special. You existing is the specialness. You being you is the specialness. Not your problems that you're going through. There's a cat. If you heard that, he wanted to purr into the mic. So you're welcome, world, for hearing a boy named Sue purr into the mic. You've been blessed. So, yeah, when it comes to classics, it shows us that we're all connected. When it comes to books in general, they also do the same thing, and a lot of people don't want you to know that these problems have always existed for a long ass time. So therefore, they try to do things to minimize it, make you not be able to know. Yeah, it's the same. Unfortunately, a story is old as time, and that sucks. That fucking sucks. But read my motherfucking books. Read them books. That's hard. Read them books. That's challenging. Read them books. Read the books that's in your house. I'm saying it to me too. But I have been reading the books in my house. I read 6 whole ass books. Don't ask me how many books are in my home. You shut up. But I read 6 of them bitches. So I'm proud of myself that I have touched a book that is from my personal library. I might go and read another one. You know what? Yeah, I'm finna wrap this up so I can go read another one. It's gonna be a kid's book, but it's gonna be a book that I'm finna read that's a part of my personal collection. I thank y'all for joining me, and I don't know how to actually sign off on these. I know that I may should have like a slogan or something, but I will catch y'all in the next episode. Bye.